Hello, everyone. So rather than trying to get us together at the end of the semester, what I thought I'd do is go over the syllabus as I have it so far, um, ask you to look it over and think about some of the courses that you'd like to teach. Also, just kind of acknowledge what everyone's responsibilities are, expectations, and things like that. So this is Health Sciences 245. Each one of you will have a section of 245 with, if you have a student who can't get in because your section's full, you can just send them to a different section. I think if they're supposed to come to ComDis, if your part's full. The history of this course is, that this was a grassroots effort developed by the different departments. Communication Sciences and Disorders really took the lead in developing this course because it's a requirement for our students. We wanted all our students to have this. I've been teaching this. This will be my third year teaching this. This is also the first year where we have a whole new line of instructors for the course, which is really exciting. We can kind of get past some of the history and look at this with fresh eyes. So the way the course is set up is that I'm the lead instructor. So what that means is I take slightly more responsibility for the class. I'm in charge of coordinating the grading for the assignments, the exams, putting together the exams. I'm also responsible for being the point person for any questions throughout the course. So when students have a question and need to send an email, they'll be told throughout the course to send it to me, and then I can coordinate all of this. We do have a teaching assistant, Megan Isley. She's in our department, and she will be helping us out as well. So in addition, each department in the college offers up a 1 hour credit worth of teaching. So we have Gus, Rashmi, Shannon, and Janice, and thank you all very much. When you look at the syllabus, you can add, I tried to pull some things off the web, but if you have an office number, you can put it in here, phone number, you can put it in here. Gus, if you have anything, if you have an office or anything like that, that'd be great if you can insert it. I'm going to put this document as well as the others in Dropbox, and I'll send you invitations to join Dropbox. And then you can make the modifications right on the document so we have it in a central place. The class is Monday and Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:45 in Enderus 103. So that's the big room where we have our faculty meetings. The textbook. There isn't a single required textbook for this class. Rather, what we do is we have the students choose a book. We also guide their choice of books. They get to have some input, but not everyone necessarily gets exactly what they want. But each student reads one of these 4 books. And with each of these books, we have a book club. And I'm just looking at this because we have 4 books and 5 instructors. So I will have to think about that. But take a look at these books and let me know if there is one in particular that interests you, that sounds like it's something you'd want to lead. So each of us typically is responsible for a book and leading a book club discussion on each book. We'll have 10 or so students in each of the book clubs. We may want to add another book, so if you have any ideas of books to add, that would be great. One, just a little bit of a heads up of, what you might be asking yourself why we chose these different books. What we tried to do is we tried to get representation of the big 4 of the culturally and linguistically diverse groups. So this course, in addition to being a social science requirement, it's also can fulfill the diversity requirement. And one of the things we had to do to get it to fulfill the diversity requirement is to have a significant emphasis on the 4 major cultural groups. So African American, Asian or Asian American, Hispanic, Latino, and Native American. So you'll see as we go through the class here that let me erase these book club leaders. You'll see that as we go through here, there's going to be quite a bit of focus on each one of these. So, The Woman Who Glows in the Dark, a Curiandra, reveals traditional Aztec secrets of physical and spiritual health. This is a book that is about the traditional Hispanic Latino culture. The spirit catches you and you fall down. A Hmong child and her American doctors in the collision of two cultures. Obviously, this is about Hmong or Asian cultures. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. This is about African American culture. This is the story, the novel where the cancer cells were taken. The HeLa cancer cells were taken without informed consent and all that. And then the last one is Dancing Healers, A Doctor's Journey of Healing with Native Americans. So, not surprisingly, this is a book about Native American. It's a Western doctor going to practice embedded with Native Americans. Generally, the students really like the book club. They like these books. They're fun books. I don't know if they're fun books to read, but they're engaging to read. It's more interesting than a textbook. So, these are the major books. I should also note at this point that this syllabus is in a very rough draft, but I wanted to get this out before we got too late in the semester. So course objectives, we can read through these. Basically, the two main things we try to do is we try to increase the students' cultural competence. So, culturally competent care means that you acknowledge other cultures, you have some knowledge of other cultures, and you are able to modify your care to adapt to the culture. So what we try to do is provide them some exposure, some backgrounds to issues of dealing with diverse cultures, reflection on their own backgrounds. The first about 25% of the class or so is kind of on these broad issues. And then we focus on specific cultures. We focus on those four cultures as well as some additional cultures as well. And then, our other goal is to try to get the students to consider how these issues impact healthcare and healthcare delivery. Since it is an interdisciplinary course, we try to get them thinking of the application of this into their future professions. We try to have some emphasis on transdisciplinary practice as well. So we do that naturally by having different instructors come from each of the different disciplines. And as we're developing this course and as you're looking at it, any ideas you have for getting more engagement across the different disciplines, both with us as instructors as well as with the students themselves, that would be great. We try to mix and match the students so they get some exposure and experience working with other students in other majors. So we have a slew of course objectives here you can read over. And we have our UW system shared goals. Course requirements, we have we make a big deal that this is a safe, respectful place. You can express your feelings, about issues that come up in class, but we need to be respectful of other people's points of view, things like that. So let me jump down to what the students. I'm not going to read everything here because you can read it at your leisure. I just want to hit the major points. We do throw them a few points. I'm going to have to adjust these actual point numbers and point values. But about maybe 5% of the total grade will be attendance. We do this throughout the semester. Just randomly, we'll take attendance about a third of the classes or so. If it's your class that you're teaching and you want to take attendance, you can just have them sign in as they leave. Hand me the sign-in sheet, and then I'll have the TA enter that into D2L. Again, I'm the lead instructor, so I'll take care of all of those administrative issues. There are two exams. There's a midterm and a final. So this is based primarily on the content that comes from the courses or the individual classes. So in addition to when you have the classes that you're responsible for, you're also going to be responsible for developing some questions for those classes and answers that I'm going to then put on D2L. So I'll coordinate the execution of the exams, but you will be responsible for giving me some questions to put on there. The exams, this is a hybrid course officially, so we do try to spread things out both in the face-to-face format and in the online format. It's probably a little heavy in the face-to-face format for compared to the online courses. So, the exams, those are all going to be done online, so that's an online thing. But if, throughout this, any places where you see we can do more online, I think that's great, and the students appreciate it. So exams is going to be about 20-30% of the students' grade. The book club, there's going to be 3 different online virtual book clubs where there's a discussion of the different stories. That's going to be worth, again, about 20-30% of the final grade. In the past, what we've done is we had had the students do a diversity experience where they go out and they find their own experience that gets them embedded in a different culture. And then the other thing that we had them do was what we called a blog. So they had to get together in small groups and reflect on multiple issues throughout the semester, and then present that at the end of the semester. Looking at the feedback, I just put together my materials for promotion and tenure. So I was reading a lot of student comments and summarizing them, and there was a lot of students felt like, especially when we got down into this part of the class, that it was a lot of busy work, and that it wasn't really that meaningful to them. And then, kind of serendipitously, at the same time, we had that speaker from Center for Engaged Learning or whatever they are come speak to us at our faculty meeting. So what I'm going to do this semester for the first time is the students will be required to complete a service learning experience. So this is going to be a major chunk of their grade as well. They'll be engaged in service learning, they'll be reflecting on the service learning, and at the end of the semester we're going to have the students get together in groups and present their experiences and how they relate to course concepts. I think it's going to be really exciting. Hopefully the students will like it. We have to build it into the semester, so we may need to take some more course time to do service learning activities, but we can cross that bridge when we get to it. So, this is outdated, this here, but basically small percentages is attendance, maybe a make or break plus versus a minus score for a student. Couple exams, book club, and then the last part is going to be the service learning experience. Okay, so topics. What I've also developed here, I'm going to put this on D2L, or on Dropbox. I also have this document here that's called Course Sign Up. So one thing I'd like you to do is first, if you could give me any dates where you are not available to teach, you can put those here. And then we're also going to think about what different topics we're interested in. So I just want to kind of bring this to your attention now. I'm going to go back to the draft syllabus. So the very first course, the very first day of class, it's our overview, our orientation. Again, I'll lead the discussion. I'll go over the syllabus with the students. But it would be nice if each of the instructors could be there just so that you can say hi, introduce yourself, a little bit about your background, so they can put name to a face. Even if you can't be there for the whole class, it would be great if you could be there to at least pop in and say hi. And then we're going to have a series of classes that are going to really talk about some of the big, broad issues in diversity. So, kind of first defining the territory. So what's this course about? What are the expectations? Individual students' goals and backgrounds. Talking about things like health disparities. Last year I had Trina Salmord come. I'll see if she's available. While we're on the topic of guest lecturers, any type of guest lecture you can find the students love. They love having guest speakers. I guess it doesn't really speak very highly of us as instructors, but I think they like having someone new come in, and oftentimes the people who come in really talk about very practical issues. And then, sometime in here, I'll have someone from the service learning department come over and talk about the opportunities and the expectations, and we have a couple other again, just more the broad issues within here as well. We're going to have the book club, so there's pretty defined expectations for the book club. Again, you'll each be assigned to a book, so think about which book you'd like to be responsible for. I can help a little bit with the grading. My TA can help with the grading, but it'd be great if each of the instructors could be involved in it, and you definitely will at least want to check the TA's initial pass at grading the presentations. And then you see what we get into the different cultural groups. We have two classes, two face-to-face classes, and I say that they've always been face-to-face. They don't have to be face-to-face, but we have two classes for each of the different groups that we focus on in this course. So we have two classes on African American, two classes on Asian American, Pacific Islanders, two classes on Native Americans, and then we have a couple of classes on Hispanic, Latino populations. That kind of piggybacks across these. Now, these dates are somewhat flexible. With these four groups, I don't want to put anyone on the spot. If you have experience with this, but if you do have experience with any of these groups, it would be great if you would be able to present on these. If you have ideas for guest speakers who could come in and talk about some of these issues, that would be fabulous as well. If you can, feel comfortable taking one of these responsibility for one of these areas, it would be great if you could do both the courses, so there's a little more continuity. What typically happens is the first class will be an overview of the culture, and the second class will be more application to healthcare issues, application to clinical practice. So, that's the first part. And then we have a series of other areas. There's Patty Thomas taught this for a long time, so she always did a lecture on disability. Gender, we have LGBT is always happy to send over a guest speaker, and the students tend to really enjoy that. Looking at age as culture, so the issues surrounding that. We've also had a speaker come from MCFI talking about diversity in the workplace, so kind of he's a chief diversity officer, so how do we consider and think about diversity in the workplace? We talk about religion and social class. So, those are the those are the topics we've talked about in the past. Again, if any of you really want to speak on any of these issues, that would be great. If you have another idea for a topic, that would be fabulous as well. We don't have a lot of room, but I'm perfectly happy to switch these out for something that you feel you could really speak about. And then at the end, what we're going to have them do is, so there are some days where we're not in class. So generally, the last day before the summit, we give them an opportunity just to meet by themselves. And then we're going to have the last 3 days of class will be the students presenting. And we could probably get away with 2. It kind of depends how many students are going to be enrolled in the class. But this is where it would also be nice if everyone could be there. Your only real responsibility for being there is to be supportive of the students and to help with the grading. So those are the major areas. The rest we have is the boilerplate stuff, and I'll make sure this is all up to date. So that's the syllabus. Like I said, the other thing I wanted to show you is, and the main document I want you to work on is this document here. So first think about what dates are you not available to teach, and I have each of your names here. Just kind of a summary of the class. We do have a total of 24 face-to-face classes, or they're scheduled as face-to-face classes. 5 classes that aren't face-to-face, so these are planning and book club and exams. Now, like I said, these face-to-face classes, you are more than welcome to do these online. If there's a topic and you want to do it online, you want to have a discussion, have them read something, whatever you want to do an online voiceover PowerPoint, whatever you want, that's great. If you need some support getting that stuff together, I have some experience. LTC is a great help. We're happy to help you out. So if we look at our 24 classes, we have to think of how we divvy these up. Well, 4 of them are going to be where all of us should hopefully be there, that orientation class and the summit. I do 6 of the overview classes, and so that leaves about 14 additional classes that require instruction. So, if each of the 5 instructors, me including, takes about 3 classes, then we have it covered. And it should be relatively even. The work should be pretty evenly distributed. So, like I said, if you are interested in any of these topics, it'd be great if you could put your name here. If you need to reschedule, just let me know. We can shift things around easily. I can go back and refer to these dates where you said you can't teach. Like I said, these are the other potential topics that we have. So if you want to work in one of these areas, you can just put your name here. I'm not saying you have to do it, Gus, but you can put that there. If you have ideas for other topics, you can put it there. Okay, so that's an overview. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I'll do this on Dropbox. I'm going to try to get this video on YouTube so you can watch it wherever you are. And I'm looking forward to a great semester. See you, everyone.